Well, after a year of absence, thanks to COVID, the University of Wisconsin-Madison's Department of Theater and Drama and University Theater are back.
Well, the first offering is the stage version of the iconic 1950 film Rashomon.
Our Michael Bruno goes backstage to check out this dramatic retelling of this powerful story.
The story really is about a horrific crime that takes place. A man has been murdered, his wife has been raped, and this all shows up at the magistrate's court.
I play the wife. So the story is told from 4 different perspectives, and the second perspective is told exclusively from the perspective of the wife. However, she features in the other stories as her actions were witnessed by the other characters.
I left trembling. It made me jealous.
The wife's story, which is very different. Then we have actually the ghost of the samurai comes back to relate his version of the story. And then we have the humble woodcutter who finally brings out his story as to what happened. And so it really is a question of, okay, who's telling the truth?
This is Tajomaru, the killer, the rapist, the plunderer.
My character, the deputy, is the local lawman who captures the bandit known as Tajomaru, who is sort of the main antagonist of the play, and he brings him into the courtroom at the beginning of the play.
This is actually based on a short story by a very famous Japanese short story writer whose last name is Akutagawa, and the original story was titled In the Grove, because this whole thing takes place in a bamboo forest or grove.
Had you had any experience with Asian theater or kabuki theater at all before you auditioned?
I had not, and I knew that that was definitely David's specialty. He is an absolute expert in East Asian Japanese theater styles. I didn't know how much of that was going to be a part of this production, especially since it is a majority white cast, but it has been an incredible learning experience.
Even a bandit must have some feeling, some sense of justice.
I think that it's very important that we give actors a chance to flex their talents and learn things. So I look upon this whole thing as a great opportunity for people to be learning something, and I think the actors involved are getting a crash course, as it were, in some Japanese theater techniques as well. And I view that as it's the same as someone learning Shakespearean theater techniques. I think they're great theater traditions all over the world that we should all be free to, learn.
And when you first saw the audition notice for this, was this something you were familiar with at all, or was it completely something that came out of left field for you?
Yeah, it was not something that I was familiar with at all, but I did know that it was going to be the last production that David was directing in this department. And for that reason, I'd never worked with David before. I was very eager to have a chance before he leaves the university. And I also have a roommate who is very interested in film, and I told her about it, and she was familiar with the film and told me that I had to audition, that this is an incredible film, has had such an impact on film history, and would be a really cool production to be a part of.
The great director Akira Kurosawa took this story, sort of adapted it, and then he created this film which was released around 1950. This was like one of the first Japanese films that really gained international attention.
So often in our theater education, we focus on Western styles. We focus on French or German or Russian playwrights, and we completely neglect the whole other world of theater styles and playwrights out there. And I think it is really important to take a look at those other theater styles and appreciate what they have offered to theater history, and make sure that we're looking at all cultures all over the world to become the best artists that we can once we leave school.
That is quite a challenge. Yeah. Michael's here now. Welcome to you. It's quite a challenge to take such an iconic movie and put it on stage.
That's very true, and it's incredibly timely now, because it's all about truth and what is the truth, because it's all told between the 4 different characters, and these have their own version of what happened at that event. So it's really an interesting time now when we have to decide what's true and what we get fed is true. So it's a really powerful piece, and David Furumoto knows his stuff.
Yeah, he does.
Really amazing piece of theater.
Social media before social media, it seems.
Exactly.
Well, you can see the film's influence in a lot of American filmography, whether it be like comedy, horror, mystery, just different perspectives of the same thing that's going on.
Yeah, it's true, and it's really wonderful. They're very happy, obviously, to get back in the theater again, and they're doing it in the middle of July and bringing it back again in September, hopefully with a full theater, because right now they're still under COVID restrictions, so it won't be a full house. But they're trying to get the press out that they are back live theater again.
Baby steps.
Exactly.
So it starts the 15th, and tickets are now available.
Yes.
All right, it's that time of the week. 3, 2, 1,
It's Friday! Oh, there she is.
Perfect.
Guest star.
Perfect placement. Michael, have a happy 4th of July weekend.
You too.
You too, Dana.
Yeah, I'll be there.
She popped out of the curtains.
We'll be right back. She has a final look at your forecast.
I do.